It's October of 2024, and I am in the middle of a lengthy interview process with SVP Worldwide. I'm doing all of the positive thinking and every manifestation I can come up with. I want this job. The role I was applying for would have me working exclusively with Singer machines, a brand I am familiar and comfortable with. After one of the interviews, I receive a call from my boyfriend, and he asks me if I would like a sewing machine. He tells me it's been sitting in a coworker's garage for years, and said coworker wants it gone. At first, I pass on the offer. I'm imagining a vintage circa 1970s sewing machine with rusted parts needing more work than it is worth. He tells me he needs an answer today, otherwise said coworker is putting it on the tree lawn. Now, I'm intrigued. Wait, what kind of machine is this? I ask him, as the image of the cream-colored plastic exits my mind. 1 second, I'll send you a picture he took of it, my boyfriend replies. And this, my darlings, is what he sent to me. I am fairly sure my heart stopped beating for a moment. All I remember of the conversation after this point is declaring that I wanted that machine. And I tell him how it's been one of my dreams to own an antique Treadle machine and actually use it. It would be a wonderful project to get fully working again. And I'm informed that this was the coworker's plan for this machine to begin with. He fully intended to restore it, get it working, then sell it to someone who would love it. But life happens, and years pass. Thus, the machine sat there, and he needed the garage space more than he needed the machine. The only condition about me receiving this machine is that I have to send him a video of the machine finally working. I totally agree. I thought that maybe this was a sign from the universe that this was it. I was on the right path and it was going to be led by Singer sewing machines. But while I got the machine, I did not get the job. And that rejection hurt more than I anticipated. I was looking forward to making things and sharing things with others on how to make them as well. Teaching people how to use Singer machines and what all you can do with them. As I mulled over exactly where I could fit this giant Treadle machine in my already cramped studio-sized living space, I imagined recording the entire process of restoring the machine. Maybe making something for the coworker as a thank you on the machine once it was done as well. It was from this train of thought and the crushed hopes over a job that actually led me to start this YouTube channel. This machine might not have gotten me the job I thought I wanted, but it led me here. Hopefully, one day I will be able to say this machine got me the job I needed. One where I could share and make mistakes. One that allowed me to be creative and still continue to learn and educate myself. My channel is very new, and I still have a lot to learn and figure out. For now, let's learn how to restore an antique sewing machine together. Or completely fail, and this whole dramatic intro will become rather satirical. Either way, I'll have a clean, pretty machine to look at. Huzzah! Initially, I thought this serial number began with the letter C, which would mean that it would have been made in Wittenberg, Germany, and thus further untraceable. However, you can clearly see in this video that it starts with the letter G, making this machine manufactured in Elizabeth, New Jersey. I am fairly confident in saying that this is a Singer 66-1, or one of the first runs of the Singer 66, due to the dial stitch instead of the lever, as well as the top-loading bobbin. It also features the red-eye design, which was also called the scroll design, which was an American-only decal. For me, this is enough confirmation on the manufacturer's location. According to the International Sewing Machine Collectors Society.net, serialnumberdecoder.com, and lrcrafts.it, it was made in 1918. Though the ismex.net is a better resource, it was confusing, however, as I found similar serial numbers that were also produced for this machine in 1910. However, considering other machines that I have seen that all have the same features as mine were produced in and around the 1920s, but have a higher serial number than mine, it seems most likely that mine is the one that was produced in 1918. It cannot be one of the 1924 models, as they had stopped making the red-eye design the year before. So while I trust ismax.net more, it was the other two websites that really helped me to confirm the year for sure. According to ismax.net, the average cost for a machine would be between $44 and $55. In today's money, that's roughly between $922 and $1,155. I do just want to say that I used the usinflationcalculator.com because I am not a mathy person. And I just wanted to note that even back then, these machines were not cheap. For the rest of this part of the video, I just want to talk a little bit about the condition that this machine is already in, as well as share with you all of the things that I ended up getting along with this machine. I've already been sort of taking you through a visual guide of how well kept this machine was. As you can see, most things seem to actually be in pretty smooth working order. They do just need some oiling, and the leather belt is in fact missing. However, you can even see here on the Singer logo that there is still some of the original gold decal on the grate, and most of the decals on the machine itself are still just fine. While I'm not 100% confident in saying that this hasn't been restored, it does seem like it has the wear and tear that would be indicative of somebody keeping it within a collection rather than using it on a habitual basis, but I do also have evidence of this being used. So I'm just going to err on the side of the fact that I personally believe this was just a very loved and well cared for machine. The wheels work just fine, and I have had to use them a couple times. There's minimal rusting, and there are parts in which the lacquer, as you can even see on the leg of the table as well, but you can see that the lacquer has come apart in some points and hasn't really been restored, which just further makes me believe that this was just a very well kept machine. Let's move on to some of the things that I obtained with this machine. First is this, what I'm calling box of miscellaneous buttons, because it's mostly filled with buttons and also stabby objects. So there's random needles of both for the machine as well as hand needles, there's pins, and there's hooks and eyes. There's also just random push pins in there. It is a dangerous trove of tetanus and plastic, and so it's just kind of staying in this box until I can figure out exactly what I want to do with everything that's in here. Some of it is vintage, some of it's antique, but for now it's just a mystery box. Next is a collection of miscellaneous things. As you can see, there are some spools of thread. There is this Alka-Seltzer bottle filled with yet even more buttons, because I guess everybody just needs 10 zillion buttons in random containers if they're a sewist. There's also this random metal cylindrical object, and of course this pincushion of a mother and child. There's also some more miscellaneous stuff, like this tatting shuttle that is used for lace making. Then we have this really cute matchbook mending kit. Some more machine needles. A thimble, which is great because I actually needed one. A skeleton key, which who doesn't love a mysterious Victorian skeleton key just appearing? And no, it doesn't fit the cabinet. And of course, some spare bobbins for the machine, all of which are threaded. Again, more miscellaneous antique and vintage needles, and this, what I'm assuming is vintage Singer sewing bag. I don't have anything in it and it is ripped. I'm just keeping it for the aesthetic. And then of course I have 3 manuals, all of which are a bit different. The first one is copyright 1913, and this one is actually a catalog. And for all of the collectors and enthusiasts, we're just going to do a speed run through this catalog. The end pages are very loose, and as you can see, the paper is kind of folded over from being shoved in the drawer for so long, so I do have to be a bit delicate with this particular one, but I'm pretty sure that cabinet right there, the number 6, is the one that I have. Next is the Singer 66 sewing machine manual. This I'm just going to quickly flip through at a little bit faster pace, and it's just a breakdown of how to actually use the machine itself and general maintenance. There is no copyright date on this particular manual or the next manual that I will be showing you in just a moment. Even though this one is also not copyrighted, I'm guessing by this woman's hairstyle that it is roughly from the 1920s, maybe 1930s. But again, it is just an instruction manual on how to care for the machines, how to take it apart, how to clean it, just general maintenance. Finally, we move on to the box of accessories. Here we have a replacement leather strap for the Treadle. This has obviously got cracked leather. I'm not sure how old this strap is and whether or not I will attempt to use it. It seems a bit dangerous, but who knows. A miscellaneous vial of needles, because why not? Of course, I did try to open one. It did not go very well, so they're just gonna live like that. Here we have a sewing gauge, not sure exactly on the age of this one. This is an antique thumb oil can. It's actually in pretty decent condition too. A couple of needle threaders. The world's smallest crochet hooks, or lace hooks? I'm not sure, I don't do lace or crochet. This is a stiletto that came with the machine originally. Some thumb screws that I will eventually figure out what they're supposed to go to. This is the tucker attachment. The ruffler attachment. The quilter attachment. A shearing plate. And this is the under braider. A binder attachment. I believe these are the parts for the adjustable hem attachment. Going off of the user manual, this one did not seem to come with the machine itself, but this is a hammer attachment. I'm guessing this must have been bought aftermarket as something that the original owner just wanted. This is a guide, and it did come with the machine. And a bias gauge. This is actually a curtain rod guiding tool. It took me a minute to figure that out. This did not come with the machine, but it came with everything I got. So that's what that is. Thank you for joining me on the history and acquisition of this machine. In part 2, we will do all of the restoration and get it working. If you'd like to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe.